What makes a Sith a Sith? Because at some point, we had in the story, we had at the same time alive. It happened. We have Sidious, Vader, um, Savage, Opress. I mean, Savage, Opress. We had Maul and Dooku's Ventress and Dooku. That's 6. That's 7. That could be considered 6. That could be considered Sith. That were at one point in the story all alive at the same time. That's all the ones we know. And there's supposed to be this rule of 2 that we might hear a little bit.
There is, it depends on which time frame that you are referring to as far as what is referenced as a Sith. Now, the Sith is technically a race.
Yes.
That started off on Korriban, and it is a dark force world where the creatures that inhabited lived with the dark side of the force, and they were called Sith because they were able to use it, not always in a bad way. They lived with it. So they were just a culture. They were more, if I remember correctly, a warrior culture, and this obviously is not canon anymore. It's unless we include the Old Republic stuff as canon. They haven't actually come out and said it's not. So I don't know. But then past that, with a majority of the Sith creature dying, and the Korriban has now become this refuge of previous Jedi, which I can never remember their home planet that the Jedi actually start off with. But there's a Legacy of the Force. There's a book, I think it's actually called Heir of the Jedi. I don't remember. We're not talking about book stuff. But during that time frame, the Sith actually expanded into a mindset and not a species. So in order to become Sith, you just had to be a part of the Sith Empire. Yeah. The biggest title was the title of Darth. Now, during the main Sith reign, where the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic take on, there are thousands upon thousands of Sith and hundreds upon hundreds of Darth characters, and
which all go against each other because they want
to
be
they all have their own ambitions, and they're all trying to be more powerful, but it's just being oversaturated. And in the time frame that we've seen in movies, they have what's known as the Rule of 2. Now, before I get into who created the Rule of 2, I would like to push this out to our audience. If anyone in our audience has any Sith Lords that they love, please comment them, let us know, and when we're done talking about mine, we can talk about them a little bit. Probably not going to be as long as we've talked about ours, because ours are better, because, you know, obviously we're the hosts. But definitely offer your suggestions. Let's hear what you've got. Do we want to take a short break, or do we want to just chug along?
I'm good. So I'm just looking because I think Kinnis suggested someone at the beginning.
Nagashadow.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, okay, there it is. It's there again.
Yeah.
Kinnis brings it. Darth Freya as well was pretty cool.
Yep. Exar Kun.
I almost picked Exar Kun because that's my books. These are the books I read 10,000 times. But then I don't know, I have little details that came out, and the way he got just end up by being wished away by Kip Duran at the end. Like, everybody just hold your hand and just wish the Dark Lord away, and he's gonna go away. That's not a cool ending.
We have one that I almost chose but didn't because of his kind of middle ground, was Darth Revan. Who is technically the first gray Jedi and creates the Revan army. But the one I picked was the one who created the Rule of 2, and that is Darth Bane.
Yeah.
And he is canon. Now, if everyone remembers... Not that Bane. Different Bane. He is canon. In the Clone Wars, you do see a shadow representation of Darth Bane when Yoda goes to the Sith homeworld, Korriban, and that was in the 6th season. I want to say like episode 13. But you do see an iteration of Darth Bane in there.
We do?
Um, yep, he's in there. He's a lot skinnier than he is in the books. Uh, but he's still a formidable warrior. And what's so great about him is everyone talks about, Darth Vader, he was old when he came to the Jedi Temple. He started off late, but then became one of these, single entities that was just, I mean, he was the most powerful. I mean, I don't know of anyone who could say that they were more powerful. Um, but you have Darth Bane, who was well into his 20s. He was a miner on a random planet, and he was using the Force, and he didn't even know he was, to help him with different things. And he had to fight to survive until he was picked up by the Sith army at the time, brought in basically as another Sith, Darth, and was his bodyguard, and ended up being the only survivor on an attack, and was then started training in the Sith Temple as a 20-something-year-old. He's training with children, and within a couple of years, he is surpassing all of his teachers in his martial arts prowess, in his lightsaber fighting, and even in his force using abilities. And he was an amazing tactician. And I know I'm getting super boring right now, so I'm just going to go into the part that everyone kind of knows about. He single-handedly wipes out, not single-handedly, he does get help from stupid Jedi and even dumber Sith Lords, and uses what's known as a thought bomb and causes the destruction of all of the Sith, the Darths at the time, to where the Jedi's thought that the Sith were wiped out. And that's where 1,000 years of peace came, because Darth Bane had created, he said it was oversaturated. Everyone was fighting each other. Nothing was getting done. In order to take on the Empire, you have to become something else. And Sidious is a direct representation of Darth Bane, in that Darth Sidious follows the rule of 2. And
very loosely.
Darth Tyrannus didn't. Darth Sidious did pretty damn well. He started, once he knew weaknesses, he used his apprentices a little bit more, but he followed.
I think of them as auditions.
Because there's a lot of talk that Sidious Master, Dark Plagueis, was alive and was in the movie. There's many scenes of the first one, A Phantom Menace, when it is said that if you were to just, well, obviously there's no actor there, but in universe, if you were to pan the camera next to Sidious, Plagueis would be right there on at his side. Which is and I weird think they go that's into... what I'm, because we have Maul, so that's 3 of them, 3 Darth.
So when I was reading about Darth Bane, just to kind of catch up on stuff, is Darth Sidious didn't actually read Darth Bane's manuscripts until he murdered Darth Plagueis.
Okay.
So Darth Plagueis was following the rule of 2 and getting, Darth Sidious into the political game and getting him ingrained into the Empire so it can be destroyed from the inside out. And that was Darth Bane's main, that's what he strived for, is he would train his apprentice who had to kill him in order to become the Sith Lord and not the Sith apprentice. So knowing that he had to die in order for someone else to become stronger and to continue this, he wrote this rule, he wrote this manuscript, I don't know, that's not the right word. But yeah, he because of him, I think everything took place based off of that. Otherwise, you're going to have this oversaturation of Sith Lord, and nothing was getting done. Absolutely nothing.
I mean, it's not a crazy way of thinking.
Yeah, and in the show too that he shows up in is this, like, he he has no hate. Well, he has hatred for everything because he's a Sith Lord, but it's almost like admiration from what the Sith that I think he feels like is one of him that's been passed down because it's a direct Sith descendant of his.
Well, how did he die?
Darth Bane.
Yeah.
He was assassinated by his apprentice.
Fitting.
So that's how you become the Sith Lord, is you have to assassinate your master.
So
And
no
rule
other
of
way.
who
two.
is his apprentice again?
I had the Darth.
Darth Babu Freak.
You're actually correct. That is what it is. It says it right here. Darth Babu Freak.
Darth Babu.
It Darth Nyana or something like that. Where is it? Zana. Darth Zana, which he finds as a small child.
Okay, that explains why. That is Siren's previous username on Steam and Xbox. Darth Sana.
Nice.
That's the first time I didn't know where it came from.
That's awesome. So yeah, he actually finds Darth Zana. He happens upon her right before this thought bomb goes off. He happens upon her. 2 Jedi accidentally kill Darth Zana's friend, and Darth Zana is like this 6-year-old girl who then takes these 2 trained Jedi and just murders them. Just kills them. Just outright, just for killing her friend. So Darth Bane's like, all right, I got you. And yeah, that's how he gets and I don't remember how many apprentices it is, but it's 1,000 years in between Darth Bane and Darth Sidious. So it takes 1,000 years for the rule of 2 to basically go into fruition and win, only to be destroyed in 19 years later when Darth Vader decides that he's just gonna call it quits now.
1,000 years is a long time
to wait for a 19-year success story.
And did you know that some coral species on Earth in real life can live 5,000 years?
There's some sponges that can live longer than that, can't they? Or that are sponges part?
Well, sponges
coral.
are different.
Is Yoda a sponge?
Sponges
Yes,
don't have
Yoda's a sponge.
We cracked it. Yoda's a sponge.
That's a discussion for a different day.
Yep.
So the rule of 2. Okay, that's what I was mistaken. Doesn't mean that there's 2 like evil doers at the same time. There's 2 that can hold the title of Sith Lord or Darth.
Yep.
So if anyone, okay, that's why there's a fight in not Rebel, Clone Wars, where Sidious himself comes with dual lightsabers, and he just fights Savage and Maul, and he doesn't call him Darth, he just call him Maul, and he says you have become a nemesis to an enemy, or he said you have become someone that is a problem. So
yeah,
that makes sense.
Yep, there can only be 2. And that's why, Savage Opress and Asajj Ventress, they were never Sith, even though they called themselves Sith. They were never true Sith. They never held the Darth title.
So to be a Sith now, not before, because before, as you explained, it was a race, and it became
and then it became a title
a
that just
title.
Everyone self-appointed themselves.
That's what I was about to ask. How do you get a title? You self-appointed to yourself, and then you kill the other
basically,
one.
It was a military title. You got if you went through the Sith Academy, if they call it Academy, but basically it's they go over it in the game. I know it was pretty interesting, but yeah, you actually get to a certain area, and then a master takes you under their wing, and you become their apprentice, and you're eventually given a Darth title in your own garrison of troops. And yeah, I think in one of the books, Darth Bane is talking to one of his former classmates that was just an imbecile in Darth Bane's eyes, and Darth Bane comes in, and this other guy's like, you can call me Darth something now, and Darth Bane just looks at him, murders him. Everyone gets the Darth title these days, and like goes on to then murdering the rest while causing their death.
And then he keeps the title for himself.
Yeah, because you have to earn the Darth title, and he felt like he earned it because he was the first Sith in a long time to start using the Sith holocrons and start learning from the ancient Sith. And like ancient as in like Exar Kun days, which was again another 1,000 years before these days.
2000 is so long. They could have erased a digit and said 100.
True.
1,000 is a long time.
Yeah, but 100 is just a lifetime.
Exactly.
And I mean,
but a
and I mean,
lifetime
look at-
enough.
Yoda can lived for 9 lifetimes.
Star Wars already takes place in our past anyway, so.
Yep.
True.
Long time ago in a galaxy far, far.
If there is such thing as a multiverse, Star Wars could have happened in real life.
True.
There is, right? I always, for some reason, confuse, and I'm gonna get a little flag for that, and it's well deserved. I confuse Bane and Revan all the time.
That's fair. They're both awesome.
Do they both have similar mask, or it just me that
Bane does not wear a mask.
He doesn't, right? Okay.
No, his features are fully him, just yellowed from, I would say jaundice in a medical term, but probably the dark side turns people jaundice.
Does he not wear a mask in Clone Wars?
He does. So yes, he does wear a mask in Clone Wars because I don't think they wanted to release his face. But in the original canon before it was cut out, like he was this massively built person. He was a miner, so he was like 6'5" and just jacked as a motherfucker. But now he's just like a skinny twig.
I was about to say, I'm looking at a picture of a drawing of it, and it looks like he could be played by Vin Diesel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
He has the Vin Diesel face to him.
But Vin Diesel only talks about family, so he'd never work out.
Yeah, he looks like he's built like me.
Definitely. Are you talking about the new one or the old one?
A little bit smaller, a little bit old one. Yeah, a little bit smaller than me.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too.
Yeah.